of course, my brother, my right hand man, prize fighter, and we
Yeah.
on it. We just seen an explosive press conference. Um,
Yes.
we seen David Morrell look totally afraid. Not sure what's gonna happen. Um, I mean, I take that back. Not afraid. I mean, fierce. That's the word I was looking for. Fierce. It was fierce between David Morrell and the Mexican model. What did you guys think about that press conference?
It was
Uh,
savage. Go ahead, Free.
I, no, I mean it's good. I mean the fight is what the fight that we wanted to see to be made is being made, and it's on. I mean, we're gonna see what happens. Enough talking. They got to show it in the ring now. I still got Morrell over David Benavidez, and we'll see if I'm proven right or if I'm proven wrong.
Hmm.
Mm. You got Morrell? I ain't know that.
Yeah, I've always had Morrell. I had Morrell over everybody at 168.
Yeah.
Well, they fighting at 75 now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Morrell didn't look too good in his last fight, but the press conference was exciting. I mean, they was arguing mostly in Spanish, so I caught a little bit of it, but they really wasn't really talking about nothing, but just going back and forth or whatnot. But it was exciting to see that. I was happy that they was like that. And David Benavidez basically saying, "It's what you wanted, right? You just what you wish for, right? All right." And David Morrell, he didn't show no fear. I think BVO made a mistake with his comment. He had he didn't have Morrell had zero fear, but I mean I don't know who gonna win that fight, but I'm leaning toward David Benavidez.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would agree. I would agree. That's why I said I meant to say fearless. He showed that he was fearless.
Yeah, he didn't look worried at all.
But I tell you
He looked
this,
like he belonged, BVO.
it was great to see somebody David Benavidez's size. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. This dude been fighting cats way smaller than him. But when he fight guys his size, we're gonna see what goes on. My only thing would be just kind of wondering what would be the game plan going into that fight. Ronnie Shields was a good trainer, but we know Ronnie Shields can be kind of conservative at times. I'm just wondering what could possibly be next and how they're going to approach that fight. What about you, Free and Prize? What you think about that fight?
Good free. What fight what Benavidez?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm kind of saying I'm not sure how that fight would go offhand. What do you guys think?
I don't know how to I don't know. I think it will go like how it's supposed to go. I think that David Morrell's gonna be tough in the beginning, but I think when it comes down to 10, 11, 12, if it goes that far, I think he'll be at a disadvantage. I would like to say that. I think he'll be at a little bit of a disadvantage the longer the fight goes on. Because Benavidez throws a lot of punches. He people like to say he don't get tired, but he looked a little tired in his last fight. But you know, new weight class, trying to shake off things. So, but I think David Benavidez wins this one.
Oh, we got my favorite Paru in the house.
I don't
Got
know if
Pyru here.
yeah, my bad. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to my man CDO. Shout out to the chat, dog. Hey, I'm gonna let you know that he done put up a new platform where if they don't like me, it automatically kicks me. So when I get booted, just know it
Oh,
wasn't
here
me.
we go. Here we go with the cat. But go, go ahead, go
CDO.
ahead, go ahead, Free. Go ahead and cook on that. What you think on that?
No, I mean, I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think it's going to be action packed. We saw David Benavidez struggle a little bit with Caleb Plant, who's more so a boxer puncher,
Mhm.
and now he's in there. He's going to be in there with a guy who doesn't get winded and who I believe has a stronger punch than Caleb Plant. Um, so we're going to see how David Benavidez is able to try to figure out David Morrell. We're going to see how David Morrell actually fight against somebody who is going to be his best competition as of yet, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I still got David Morrell because the one thing about David Benavidez, like Price touched on a little bit, he said David Benavidez throws a lot of punches, but the problem with throwing a lot of punches is you could get counter. because you're not on the defense, you're on the offense. And David Benavidez uses his offense as defense. But if you're dealing with somebody who's just as big as you, who has the same arm reach as you, same hand speed as you, who's a better boxer, you can get countered. And we don't. I mean, we both of them. I mean, well, we've seen David Benavidez has been dropped before, so I've never seen Morrell touch the canvas. So it's not like David Benavidez has the sturdiest chin. So I mean, I don't know. We're gonna see who pulls this out. It's gonna be a action packed fight. It's 50-50, but I got David Morrell winning.
I feel like Benavidez' hand speed is faster than Morrell's, but that's just me. Go ahead, T.
Well, I'm a piggyback on both of you. I mean, first and foremost, Caleb Plant is a tremendous talent, and David Benavidez, he did struggle with him earlier on in the fight, and I think that the fight really changed off of elbows. I think the elbows was what really changed the course of that fight. That being said, he is known to pull away from the competition that he had been fighting at that division in the later rounds. So, part of course, he did that in that Caleb Plant fight, but I would say it's with the help or the assistance of that elbow. Um, I think as far as speed, I mean, it's marginally, you could go either way, leaning either way. With that power, I would definitely lean towards Morrell. I think that more so for Benavidez, he's a volume fighter and that he usually wears his opponents down. I want to say that both men alluded prior to me speaking that he wore down against a bigger opponent. And I mean, I think that's just coming with fighting a bigger opponent where you're usually the bigger opponent. And I mean, it took a toll on him. He still performed phenomenally in that fight.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just thought that, like you said, he had wore down at the last part, and that's when he started winning rounds.
I'll say this
It's a
though.
great.
That's what. Go ahead.
Go ahead, say what you were gonna say.
No, no. I say that's a great point. I think David Morrell really was. I like David Morrell, but he was pretty confident coming off a loss. Um,
Why can't
that
I
dude,
see myself?
that dude kicked his head in. I don't know what else would say. I just don't. I don't know if you watch that fight. I just don't think Morrell won his last fight, but it was it. But David Benavidez is like that. I don't know. He's like that, like the little engine that could. Every time you think the Mexican can do something else, he'll surprise you. His defense is better out of nowhere. His
Yeah, his defense.
offense is more. Um, it's just he just keeps improving. I always hated that Mike Tyson gave him that name, the Mexican Monster, and I give a name to one of the brothers who's coming up. But I just think that he's shown and proved to deserve that name because if you look at David Benavidez, the man has steadily gotten better and better and better. When he fought Caleb Plant Elvis, as I call him, shout out to Kenny Bayless for helping. It was Kenny Bayless and Caleb Plant versus the Mexican Monster because early in that fight, we seen Caleb Plant beating the Mexican pizza out of him. But soon before you know it, all we started seeing was Caleb Plant running and Kenny Bayless trying to stand in front of him to help him. So I mean that, and then we seen Boo Boo Andre who came in big as a house. I think he came in as much as 200 pounds that fight, and we seen him kind of putting it on David Benavidez. And David Benavidez, soon as Boo Boo got tired, he beat the S curl off him. So it was just one of those things where you just keep seeing this Mexican dude get better and better and better. He went from doing the drinks, now he was frying the chips, now he's making the tacos now. So shout out to him and his father both. I mean, his defense was tremendous versus what's the guy, Boo Boo Andre. So I just can't say enough about him. I like the Morel. I like his spunk. I like what he's bringing to the table, but I don't see him beating the Mexican Monster. But I'm gonna ask you guys this: we see a fight.
Wait. I didn't get the
Oh,
sentence.
my bad. Go back. Go
Yeah,
back. Go
yeah.
ahead, Tommy. My
I
bad.
was I was interluded on it. But no, I was gonna say the fights that allow me to believe that Morrell definitely has a great chance of winning it
Hmm.
is the fact. fact that Kyron Davis came up two weight classes like a week notice and gave Benavidez all he could handle in that fight until
Mhm.
his size just overtook everything. But he
Mm.
was getting pieced up, and he's a good boxer, a very good boxer. Morrell happens to be very schooled in
For
boxing, and I
sure.
mean that gives him a chance. Likewise, what you said with um, Bubu Andre, if
Mhm.
he wouldn't have been so out of shape, you never know how that fight plans out. Plays out. I mean,
Yeah.
but he definitely earlier on before he got tired, before he got caught with that straight right, that overhand right or whatever that kind of half hook, half straight,
Yeah.
half breakhand hitting. He was doing pretty good damage upon my man Benavidez. And Benavidez, his body of work speaks for itself. So I agree, a 50-50 fight. I want to see it because this is the fight we asked for. I hope that this time around, unlike the Usyk and Bivol fight, we actually, I'm not Usyk, I mean Beterbiev and Bivol fight, we actually give this fight the attention it deserves instead of talking about people who don't have a fight that week.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think you helped us lead to the next thing. In 2021, we seen one of the biggest robberies in boxing history. Shout out to Scooter. We love you. But we know Scooter did not beat King Figueroa that night. Figueroa landed the more devastating punches, and it was one of those fights where you just was sitting there and you just almost couldn't believe that the judges would take it from him like that, and they did. But now we at 126. Scooter, fresh off the canvas, says he's feeling better. Even though that guy, Brandon Figueroa, stopped, he put Cool Boy, former 122-pound unified champion, on the in the dirt. I just can't wait to see redemption and end all the controversy because I just don't see how Scooter can beat a monster like Brandon Figueroa because I think Brandon Figueroa stops anyway. What do you guys think?
I don't know what first fight you saw. Scooter was getting to the body. He was countering. He did everything right. He walked to the fire, and I think he gonna do the same again. When the last time Figueroa had a fight?
Figueroa's WBC champion, bro.
When is he?
I mean, you
When did
haven't
he
been
fight?
watching.
I was asking when did he fight last? I don't remember him even being.
I think he fought in February, I believe.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it was February.
all right.
He's,
Well,
he's on it.
yeah, I
Was
like
that was that
Figueroa.
fight
Don't
on
get me
that tank
wrong.
card? He was
I
on the
like
tank.
Figueroa. Is on a tank card.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, I like Figueroa actually. I like him and the other one, the brothers or whatever. But I think that Scooter learned a lot from the Inoue fight. I know he went down in his last fight, but he wasn't really hurt too bad. It was more like he made a mistake. But I think he been staying off Instagram and not posting all his clothes and his glasses and his chains lately. He been working, so I expect to see Scooter at a 100%, and I think he can go in there and get the UD. I think that's what he's gonna do. Get him out of there, so
Um.
that way BVO can just.
Go ahead. My bad.
That
My
way,
bad.
nah. I was just saying that way you can, stop, putting the belt to the boy so bad. Like he won that fight. And nobody, I never heard nobody say it was a robbery, but you. Shout out
That's not
Greenlight.
true.
Shout out
That's
Ace.
not true. That's not true.
Hey, me personally, like I said, I believe that Cool Boy pulled that fight out. Um, I mean, if Brandon Figueroa felt like he got robbed, Cool Boy asked him right there in his face after the fight, "We can run it back." Brandon
Right.
Figueroa was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go to 126." So it was on him to take the fight. If he felt like he got robbed, he could have fought him again. He said, "We can fight again. If you feel like you got robbed, we can run it back." Cool. He said, "Nah, he's going to 126." So
Hmm.
I think
Forgot about that.
it's gonna be a good fight. I want to see if Cool Boy shook all those cobwebs and out that happened with Monster in a way. But y'all know the winner of this fight will be looking at that young monster that's moving up. He's number one in the WBC, Shushu. So we're gonna see what happens after this fight because Shushu is number one. So after this fight, one of those two gonna have to face Shushu.
And I'd rather see Fulton and Shushu.
Um,
Mm.
Shushu is my guy, man. I love Shushu, but Brendan Figueroa beats the Jamaican rice out of him, man.
Out of who?
out of Shushu.
Let's stop.
Brandon Figueroa's a dog, man. Have you been watching?
Yeah, I like Figueroa. I like
He's
Brandon
a
Figueroa.
dog.
I liked
No,
Omar Figueroa.
you
The
know, you
Figueroas always came to fight.
Dog, you know
But
how you tame a dog? Because I deal with dogs all the time. You know how you tame a dog? You punch
no.
him right in the nose. That's how you tame a dog. Punch him right in the nose. A dog stop all that barking, all that growling. They're gonna cry and go right back to the corner. So we'll see if he's really a dog like that. If
Mm.
he's a dog like you claim it, like I said, he got dog in him.
Yeah,
But
he do.
I think he's more so worried about his makeup more than
Oh,
being a dog.
hold on, hold on.
Bars. Over the head
You talking
bars.
like Mace. You talking like my man Mace.
Over the
I ain't gonna
head
say his name,
bars.
but that's a Mace joke. I don't know why you brought that up here. He don't wear no makeup.
My man said mascara.
Can we get some more likes? Oh,
Oh,
is it I gotta refresh.
Yeah,
so
refresh
smash
Hold
the
the
on.
like
like
button
button,
for
my
us, y'all.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
you up in here, you chilling and rocking with the main man CDO, then you gotta hit that like
Oh, you
button,
got,
baby.
hey,
We
and to
got
keep it
D
real, man.
Free up
We
in here,
got we
keeping it
got we got
100%. What got
like
prize fighter? You
you
know what
already
I'm saying?
know.
We gotta get
I think
liked, commented, and subscribed to, if you know what
I'll
I
say
mean.
this though.
It's a
This I'll say
script
this.
too.
Brandon Figueroa, really when he fought Cool Boy, all jokes aside, that was an instant classic. I like to make a joke that Brandon was robbed, but it just was really a close fight. And I really thought that the body work that you seen from Cool Boy Steph was what kind of going to fight for him because he started to buckling towards the end. And it slowed down Brandon's pace because Brandon kind of does only fight one way. We've seen Cool Boy, we know Cool Boy likes to go to the canvas and go to sleep, but we got to be honest, the kid can fight on the mid range, outside. He really has no weaknesses. He just is very chinny. He like to go to sleep, and you can knock the cheesesteak out of him. But as far as a fighter, this is going to be a very tough test because I think Scooter had a hard time making 122 pounds. So 126, he should be stronger. And like he said, he can put a stamp on his fight if he can catch him with something. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, if you talking about catching him with hitting him in the head with a stale cheese steak bread, maybe. But as far as stopping somebody, I don't think so. But let's not, I'd be remiss if I didn't give credit to Scooter for being a terrific, terrific fighter. I thought, what's funny? Scooter is everything people want Devin Haney to be. Very, very skilled. Uh, I mean, goodness, I can go on and on. Him and TF have both shown me, even in losing efforts, that these guys are top tier boxers, top tier marksmen. And you know what? I always, and my new thing is gonna be saying this all the time. This ain't no Michael B. Jordan Creed stuff. It's about skill. So
Yeah.
you can come in here and play these games, and we know Fig likes to play games. He like to pin his ears back and go straight ahead, but he better come with something different because Scooter is a terrific defensive fighter. Um, and you gotta watch him because he got a little bit of dog in him. I mean, he is a little soft fashion wise, but in that ring, he's all man and he can fight. And I think this would be a great win for Brandon Figueroa going into hopefully stopping Bruce Carrington. But we cannot we
None of
cannot
that's
sleep
happening.
we cannot sleep on Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton to me is still one of the best fighters in the world. That's just me.
I don't think
But
he stops Figueroa because he doesn't have that kind of punching power to get a guy like Figueroa out of there who can take a pretty good punch. But I can see him outboxing him, and it'd be close. But I give him the
um
edge.
this is the thing. This is the only thing that scares me about that fight. I'm picking Fig as you probably guys would. You guys are probably shocked I would pick Brandon Figueroa, but I'm picking Brandon Figueroa. And Free, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I just see that Scooter is loaded with skill. Loaded with skill. I mean, even in that close win he just had, the way he was cutting the ring off, going to the body, punching in between punches. I mean, the two. I don't know who his trainer is, but they did a hell of a job with that guy, man. That dude can fight. What you think about that, Free?
I mean, everything you said leans toward you should be picking Cool Boy. I ain't hear nothing that you said that tells me that Brandon Figueroa is going to win this fight. I don't think neither one of these guys stop any one of them. I think this
Hmm.
is going to go the distance once again. Not neither one of them are real big punchers like that. Brandon Figueroa is more of a wear you down and get you to stop or get the referee to stop the fight.
Hmm.
Cool Boy, he ain't got that many stoppages in his career, so neither one of these guys are real big punchers. I just think um, they already fought each other. They pretty much know what the other one is going to bring. We'll see if anybody change something up. Um, the only question I have is, do Cool Boy still have it in his head to get caught with a shot? Because the fight we saw prior to him fighting Monster anyway, he got caught with a couple of shots from Brandon, and it didn't phase him. He stood right there in the pocket, and he beat Brandon at his own game. Then he got in there with Monster, and he got stopped. And then we seen him have a layoff. Very next fight, he gets in there. Although he got the win, he got dropped early in that fight. So I don't know if he's going to be reluctant to stay in there in the fire. He might try to box a little bit more, which can bring a different outcome in this fight. We could see the judges favor Brandon because he's pushing the action, and Cool Boy is fighting on the back foot. Boy, I mean, or we could see Cool Boy just outbox him and make Brandon miss a lot of shots that he's trying to go for. So we got to see what happens.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why I do favor Brandon Figueroa. It's because I feel like with Brandon, he's a sneaky good boxer. I just think that he just has, like most Mexican style fighters, his feet are garbage. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he can't move them little feet like he needs to at times. That's why I don't think he can really move up past 26 because I don't think he got the feet to do so. But the guy that Cool Boy fought, Brandon Figueroa, did knock him out cold sleep. I mean, dude was
Not
sleep.
who? The guy
He was sleep.
that dropped Cool Boy?
Yeah, the guy that dropped Cool Boy, Figueroa had him sleep.
Mm.
It was. I mean, Figueroa had him sleep. It's just my only thing though is
That
I'm
makes
learning in
sense.
boxing is that skill is something you can never ever discount. And you say why you say that, BBO? I'll be honest with you guys, I'm still in all of that performance by TF, man. God, Lee, that was beautiful. And you know, I hate that boring boxing stuff. But this dude transformed into a boxer puncher. And you can say he got robbed, which I believe. That's just my personal opinion. Some would disagree with me. But I don't know, Free and T Hill and Prize. But when you seen a guy just put on a performance like that, it's like, this is why I watch the sport. You know what I mean? This is why I watch the sport. To see you just overtake a guy with your skill and you not who you used to be. I don't know. Forgive me, guys, for me drooling over that performance. Salute to my brother Bentley. Um,
Hill is in the
I don't
back.
know, man. That performance, T Hill and Free and Prize, just really from TF showed me why I watch the sport of boxing. Because it's all skill. It's never about who's the biggest, strongest, none of that. What do you guys say?
Um,
Before you cook on that, let me go on and get mine in because
Go ahead.
Restream don't like me that much. Keep kicking me off. That that Figueroa fight the first time around was a great fight.
Mhm.
Uh, my man Figueroa did do excellent body work, but it was if you like the body below the belt because he was tagging man below the belt something fierce and did not
See,
get
he
beat.
landed 314 body shots. Figueroa
About
did.
300 of them bad boys was below the belt.
Oh,
Um,
I promise Hill.
I thought in that fight, Cool Boy, he should have continued earlier on. He was just boxing. When he was just boxing, it wasn't even close. He went and turned into a grudge match, and beat you
Mhm.
at your own game. And I mean, that's what allowed the fight to become what it became. I think,
That's a fact. That's a
I
fact.
think what you said was absolutely spot on. I mean, the man does have a skill set that's pretty superior if he uses it, choose to
Mhm.
use it. I think Brandon Figueroa is all guts up in that ring. You're not gonna have an easy fight with him. He's gonna make it tough. He's gonna
Mhm.
make it very physical. So he got to avoid going to that fight again because I believe Figueroa is the natural bigger person. That being said, also I think D said something very, very poignant, man. You got to see how he rebounds from that monster in a way fight because in the fight that he just recently had, he should not have been getting hit with some of the shots that he was getting hit with. The one thing that I do think will factor in his favor will be the fact that he'll have another camp with Bozy, and
Yeah.
I think that will make the biggest difference in that fight going forward.
And let me ask you guys this,
Hmm.
and I could be wrong. I'm gonna start with you, Free. Now I want to go to you, Prize, and T Hill finish this up. Do you think Bozy respects the kind of skill you get with Cool Boy? Because I've seen him fighting a lot like Jerron, and I never seen him fight like he did his last fight. Do you think Bozy doesn't care about skill?
No, I think Bozy is the right type of trainer for a cool boy because
Salute, Tim.
Jerron is a
Hey, salute. Green
Jerron
light.
is a Jerron is a boxer. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's a boxer puncher. So when you have a guy like Cool Boy who's not the biggest puncher, you want to teach him. You want to sharpen up his skills in boxing. You don't want to make him a power puncher. You don't want to make him an inside fighter. You want to keep him boxing because he's not the biggest puncher. Like I said, he got a few stoppages, but he's not the biggest puncher, and he's small. So with a guy like that, the same way he's doing with Andy Cruz, you teach that guy how to stay on the outside without giving up your real estate. So I think Bozy is a perfect trainer for Cool Boy because
hmm
he already used to training a superior boxer. That's one thing that Boots was known for is his boxing ability. His power is second. So yeah, Bozy is an excellent trainer for Cool Boy.
hmm 100%. He been hanging around the Ennis. They in camp, and they working out. They doing what they got to do. I think Cool Boy locked in for this one, bro. I know he knows he got a lot to lose on this one right here. You know what I'm saying? If he goes out and win this fight, man, he's back in the picture where, he can make some more good money, get maybe a title shot. See what happened.
Yeah. Go ahead, Thomas. I want your opinion on this, brother.
Yeah, Bentley, you right. You can't teach the
You
power,
on
but
mute,
he can box.
Thomas. You on mute,
You on mute,
Thomas.
Thomas.
Oh, I'm on mute. My bad. Yeah, I believe that, as you said, he's a skilled first trainer. He wants to make sure that his boxers do the fundamentals, know how to navigate the ring, and know how to get themselves out of problem areas and situations. And that's where I think my man went wrong in the Inouye fight, and sort of went wrong at shots in the last fight for him. Um, I think that with all things with change, you need time to allow the change to take effect for people to get used to the certain circumstances of the change. And I think that Bozy is finding out exactly what type of platform he has available, what medium he has in Cool Boy, so that he can learn how to apply him artistically in that ring and utilize his skill set to his greatest advantage to get the most out of him. And I think that he is a perfect trainer for people who are really
Mm-hmm.
really blessed with skill set because he wants.
Um, I'll say this. I think you guys make good points. I just don't. I just don't see it. Um, and I'll give you reasons why. When I look at Andy Cruz, in my opinion, still fights very amateur-like, and he's been with Bozy for a while. I know
He
everybody
ain't been
likes
with him
Jerron
forever.
Ennis, but Jerron Ennis is over 30 something fight. He has more fights than Errol Spence, and he still hasn't fought anybody of note. And I just don't feel like a guy as skilled and accomplished as Cool Boy. I think he's really wasting his time getting a trainer like that because, and this is not a casting aspersions against Bozy as a person. I know you watching Bozy. I love you. You're my brother. But I just wanted to tell you that I just don't think a fighter that skill needs to be with a guy who's still kind of green on the big stage. I mean, my God, what more can Cool Boy do? The man been unified. The man had everybody. He was fighting everybody. People forget about Cool Boy. He's fighting everybody. Brandon Figueroa is a monster. Nobody wanted to fight Brandon Figueroa at that 122 spot. I mean, MJ, all them guys ran from him. And then they went up to 26 and ran from Gary Russell. So I mean, it really was one of them things where I think, and y'all could say I'm wrong. I think, and I don't know if he would have the time, but I think a guy like Bomac would have been a great choice, or what's my guy Joe Goosen would have been a better choice. You got to get somebody who can help you with that skill. I just don't feel like you getting a dude who hasn't been on the same stages as you. I mean, let's be honest here. Since Bernard Hopkins, there hasn't been a Philadelphia fighter more accomplished than Cool Boy Steph. Let's just call it what it is. The dude is A plus, A plus plus. I mean, unified. Went to Japan, took a nap, but y'all seen the dominance we seen at 122. We hadn't seen a run like that in many years. But go ahead, Free. What you got on it?
I think you are sadly mistaken. You said this man, his skill level, he's wasting his time with Bozy Ennis.
That's crazy.
Um, you said Joe Goosom. Joe Goosom hasn't done anything.
Dude, the
Joe
t-shirt,
Joseph
the
You know,
Joe
shirt.
Hall of
Goosom
Fame,
Joe
Free.
Goosom ran the coattails of guys who was already good. He
What
rode the
about
coattails of
Tito?
guys that was already good. What guy that he brought up from the mud and made
He didn't
a
bring up
world
nobody. He
superstar?
always got somebody. Okay, I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
He rode the coattails of guys that was already good. Now,
Okay.
Yeah.
I like I said, Bozy is a perfect guy. I mean, not only is he's a good trainer for the type of skill that Cool Boy had. Cool Boy is already familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
They already know each other. He knows what Cool Boy likes to do. He knows what Cool Boy needs to work on. If Cool Boy was to go get somebody else who he's not familiar with, they would have to learn what Cool Boy is good at, what he like to do, and Cool Boy has to be able to get the confidence to trust that new trainer. With a guy like Bozy, he
Mm-hmm.
already know Bozy. He already trusts Bozy. So he's more
Mhm.
easier to listen to Bozy's words because he already trusts him. With
They've
somebody
been
who
hanging around each other. Yeah.
yeah, so with somebody who he's unfamiliar with, it's going to take a while before he can give them his full trust and say, "Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and buy into what he's teaching me." So it's not that Bozy is the best trainer in the world. He's the best trainer for Cool Boy at this point right now.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and I can see why when you come to that conclusion. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying, but I just think that I mean the dude's been on all the stages free. That's all I'm saying. He's been everywhere. I don't really think there's much Cool Boy can do other than maybe get a title and become a two division champion at 126. He did so much at 122. I mean, he just had such an incredible run. But let me ask you guys this:
And he's
that
not the
being
most
said,
accomplished fighter from Philly since Bernard Hopkins.
who will have that title then?
Danny Garcia had accomplished more than Cool Boy.
Danny was never unified.
Danny 140 run was amazing, bro.
Was he ever unified?
I don't think so.
So what we talking
No,
about?
Danny wasn't unified, but
That
So we're
doesn't.
talking
Danny is more accomplished than Cool Boy.
They've been on
He's
pay per
not. He's not.
view.
He's
how?
not.
I mean,
He wasn't unified, but he's more accomplished because
Because you got
when
another
you say
belt at
when you say
47.
who's more accomplished, it's not just off. It's not just the accolades. It's also the people you've been in the ring with. It's also the resume. It's not just the accolades. It's also the resume.
yeah. Keith Thurman,
I
Sean
can see
Porter,
that. I can see that. But let me ask you guys this:
Broner.
Sean- other than Sean Porter, what big fight did Danny win?
It does. It like I say, resume doesn't mean that you won. It
He
means
didn't beat
it's who
Sean
you've been
Porter.
in the ring with. Now, when you talk about legacy, that's what you that's the fights that
Oh,
you
I
won.
take that back. He on technically he did. Well, I thought he won that fight, but he technically lost to Sean Porter. He lost every major fight at 47. That man, and people got to
But he
remember.
won all the big ones at 40, though. So people would like
No,
to
he did
just,
not because he didn't fight Chance Crawford at all, and they were in the division at the same time.
yeah,
You know
well,
that.
you
You
know
know
how
that.
that
And
was back. You
Hold
know how
on,
that
hold on,
was
hold on,
back in the day.
hold on, hold on. You know that. Ain't no we going back then. You know that. This ain't
You
no.
know,
This
you
ain't no
know how
little
that
beef,
was back
Well,
then.
bro.
I know he
Bro,
didn't.
you know that he
I
was
know
with
he didn't
Golden
fight
Boy.
Terrence. I know he didn't fight Terrence Crawford, but I
He
also
definitely
know
didn't.
that Bob Erm didn't make that fight.
He was with Golden Boy. Why didn't he make the fight?
Who was with Golden Boy?
When he was at 140, that's when they were still with Golden Boy. Danny
Who?
Garcia. Danny
Yeah,
Garcia.
I said Bob didn't make the fight. I didn't say nothing about Oscar. I said Bob didn't make the fight.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I don't know why that fight never happened. But I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to harp on Danny Garcia. He's a great talent. One of my favorite fighters from Philadelphia. Um, but I just
You
don't
don't
have a
like
clue
him,
what he
Green
did.
Light?
You said what?
I was reading the comment. Green Light said, anyway, trash. I think you just don't like him. Like I'm not a big fan of him either, Green Light. But I think
Yeah.
he is good. I think he is skilled and good.
The Thurman fight was dope, but keep in mind, Danny lost by 1 point.
Against
No,
who?
So
he said Fulton didn't beat big fights like
Like
that
that
neither.
neither.
I mean the
Oh,
only
he
big
said
fight
anyway, trashed him.
the
Oh, okay.
only
My
the
oh,
only
apologies.
the only big fight that Fulton lost was Monster anyway. All of the other big fights he had, he won.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't know what Greenlight's talking about. He hasn't been watching. But I'll ask
I
you
read
guys
his
this.
comment wrong.
I'll ask you guys this. From what you're seeing with this PBC card, um, I'm just wondering, are you guys worried about David Morrell taking this fight a little too early? Because I think David Morrell Jr. is a little bit too green for this fight. What do you guys say?
Some people believe that. I mean, but to be honest with you, who else was he going to fight? I mean, nobody else was calling out David Morrell. So David Morrell decided to call out the baddest man at 168. Nobody else wanted to take the fight with David Morrell. So he said,
I thought
okay.
he didn't call out Bolinga, did he?
I said the baddest man at 168. He called out
Right.
David Benavidez.
Oh, you mean I thought you were talking about Bolinga at 160. That's the baddest man at 168.
Who?
What? Based off of what?
I'm joking.
Oh,
Yeah, like I
you
said,
was about to get
he
you
called
was
out the
about to get
baddest man
smoked
at
up here.
168. So I mean, like I said, it wasn't like other fighters was knocking down his door, and then he was taking other fights, guys that they said was supposed to be his toughest opponent to
Mhm.
date, and he was stopping those guys. And everybody kept saying, "Well, he ain't fighting nobody. He ain't fighting nobody." So he said, "Okay, well, since I ain't fighting nobody, I'm going after the baddest man at 168." And David Benavidez act like he didn't hear him until he got to 75.
Um, that's a good point. I'll say this though. Um, Canelo, man, has missed the opportunity because I feel like Canelo could have balled both these young dudes up and it would have been huge for his legacy. I really hate that, Canelo let this opportunity pass him because Benavidez and Morrell have no chance against Canelo. And I just don't know why Canelo didn't give us that fight. He could have made maybe as much as $70 million with that fight with Morrell. He had that much anticipation behind it. But I'm still waiting for that fight with great anticipation. So we'll see what happens, man. And I want to give a big shout out, man, to David Morrell, not the Jose Benavidez Sr. for being a class act. Jose Benavidez Sr., man, when it got out of control, we all seen the green room. Thank God that he didn't let them two idiots mess up the money because they was about to throw hands. I mean, they was talking in Spanish, and I know a little bit, just a little bit, to be dangerous. And the stuff that Morel and Benavidez were saying to each other are words that get people unalived. So shout out to Jose Benavidez Senior for stopping what could have been a melee. I mean, did you guys see that? Did you hear how they was talking to each other? You don't talk to no grown men like that. I was
David
shocked that they were talking
Benavidez
like
looking like we can do it right now. I was like, oh man.
that. I was
Don't.
shocked. I was shocked to hear that. And
But
I
I
don't
like
know if
somebody to get hit upside the head at the press conference, like when Riddick Bro hit Larry Donald upside the head at the press conference. When Riddick Bro
but that
went
was
up,
different. Larry was scared of Big Daddy Bo. These brothers wasn't
the
scared of
way
each
he
other. These
pieced
brothers
him
was about to
though,
blow.
the
These
way
brothers
Big
about to throw. And
Big
you
Daddy
could
Bro
just
turned
see it.
around and
Yeah.
Whatever you see
I'm
somebody
sitting
doing
here.
that stupid smile, you know what time it is.
I'm sitting here looking at green light out this joint, capping like a bug. I
Nah,
mean,
he said he's on the road.
no, no, I ain't
He
talking about
probably
that. I ain't talking
driving.
about that. I'm talking about what he said about Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins may very well be the king of Philly, but he didn't go 20 years before he lost because you
Nah.
forgot about Jermaine Taylor whooped his ass twice. You forgot about that. Jermaine Taylor took those belts from him twice. Well, he took the belt from him and then he got him in a rematch and beat him again. So you forgot about that one.
One that when B Hop was in there doing push-ups, talking about his shoulder
But
went out
B
of
Hop,
place.
nevertheless, B Hop very well may be the king of Philly. Outside of Frazier, he might be the king of Philly. I'm not saying that he's not, but no, to say he went 20 years before he lost, that's cap.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, well, B Hop is. I
speaking of
think
that, speak,
it was pretty long, man, before he lost. From that time he beat Trinidad, if you go back then until he lost to Taylor, that wasn't 20 years, but it was a lot of fights.
Yeah, it
hey,
was. It was. It was.
speaking of that, speaking of that, Bernard Hopkins beat a lot of people he wasn't supposed to beat too.
Was
I
it
mean,
20 years?
he beat a lot of guys he wasn't supposed to beat. He messed up a lot of apple cards because he was refusing to be a gatekeeper. He was just fighting the youngest, toughest dudes and whooping on them. But something I wanted to bring up. What do you think about these allegations, as Rick Ross called them, allegations about the
Accusations.
Mike Ty- um, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight being fixed? What do you guys think?
Can we just move on from that? I'm glad it was wrestling. We all know it's wrestling. If
Well,
whether it was fixed or
they
not, he
suspended
carried
Jake
them.
Paul's license indefinitely.
They
I could
You
be
said
what?
what?
wrong. They announced the Nevada Association announced that his license are suspended indefinitely.
Who?
Like
For what?
Jake Paul, his license is suspended. So is Mike Tyson's license are suspended. I'm just
They
thinking
both suspended.
they both suspended.
I
Yeah,
have to look
because
into that.
they robbed the fans. They should be suspended. I mean, Tyson don't care about it. He 58 years old. He don't care.
Right.
He ain't fighting no
Anymore.
more. But Jake Paul definitely should be suspended because he robbed the fans. I told you that. No, it looked like they had a hidden agenda that to not knock each other out, and that's what it looked like. It looked like Jake Paul held back, and at times it looked like Mike held back. So I mean, they should be suspended. I didn't look at Jake Paul as a real fighter anyway. I didn't look at him as a real fighter anyway.
Um, I agree with you, Billy. You my brother, man, all the way from Miami Gardens, but I still call it Carroll City. Um, I don't think Mike got unalived at all. I think Mike really was in there playing around, having fun. But to suspend Jake Paul's license is a travesty. Um, I hope that Turkey Sandwich or somebody can come out and speak up for this guy because that's ridiculous to suspend his license. Whenever a young brother from Cleveland comes to save boxing, it's always some confusion. Whether it's
He
the
ain't
great
no
Don
young
King,
brother.
um, whether it's um, whether it's Al Heyman. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, Free. This dude, Machine Gun Kelly, and Jake Paul both are redeveloping East Cleveland as we speak. So they're actually spending their real money where you can see the buildings and what they're doing. So for me being from Cleveland, even though I live in the suburbs, I'll be totally honest. I really respect what Jake Paul's doing for the city. We haven't had a guy like him since MGK. Shout out to MGK because them guys are really putting their money back into the communities that they came from. So shout out to them for that. But it's a travesty, man. But let me ask you guys this. This is another question that kind of got me.
Oh, it's just stupid. It's not nothing really.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Um, do you guys think Amanda Serrano should retire?
I would. If I was her, I would.
Why would you
I
Because
retire?
wouldn't. I
That was
technically
a
keep my
great
she's
response.
potatoes.
technically Amanda Serrano is supposed to be 49 1-1. Technically. She's supposed to be 49 1-1. I believe she got cheated out of both those fights. The first fight, uh, it could go either way. I think Amanda Serrano won, but the judges gave it to Katie Taylor. But that second fight, I definitely believe she was cheated out of that one. It's no question about it. I believe she was cheated out of that fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
it's
Jake
really
Paul
nothing else for her
thing.
to prove. It ain't nothing else for her to prove.
It's really nothing. It's just that what they were basically saying, that for every round, both Tyson and Paul must undergo a mandatory 3-day rest for every round they fought. The fight went the full 8, so they must pair a rest for 24 days. Mandatory rest in boxing is regular occurrence in professional bouts. Yada yada yada.
I don't care if I ever see Jake Paul in the ring again. That doesn't
Me
move me
neither,
not
but that
one
just
bit.
kind of threw me for a rent when he said that Jake Paul was suspended. I wanted to see why, but it's really some dumb ish.
I don't care. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't care
listen,
anyway. Yeah.
That's your favorite thing to say, man. You don't care.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is what
I'm
it
gonna tell you,
is.
I saw, and this fight was free on Netflix. If you had Netflix, the fight was free. I watched every fight up until the first 2 rounds of the Jake Paul and Tyson fight. After the first 2 rounds, I was like, I don't want to see no more of this, and I
Yeah,
didn't watch. I listened to y'all call it. I didn't even watch no more of it.
it was stupid. I'm glad it's over. I don't want to ever talk about it again,
I watched
ever.
literally every single fight on that card up until the first 2 rounds of the Jake
I
Paul
mean, it
fight.
was just like watching, like when me and my daughter go to wrestling. When I take her to go to wrestling, that's what it was like to me, you know. And the atmosphere, it was electrifying out there. The people was showing it was in 65 million homes, broke all kind of numbers, broke. I mean,
That,
65 million homes is a lot.
that's why I said Mike Tyson is still the face of boxing. I mean,
That's
it just
so
proved it.
crazy. That's
It just
crazy.
proved it. He's still the face of boxing.
That's crazy. I don't
Anytime
think Jake,
Mike Tyson can be 75 years old coming into the ring, everybody going to tune in to see Mike Tyson
bro.
fight. He's
Jake
still the
Paul
face of
ain't
boxing.
right. You right. Jake Paul ain't getting those 65 million homes. Where if he fight one of them. What was that Rock'em Sock'em bare knuckle guy he beat up on? You know what I'm
Dog,
saying? Stuff like
But
that.
I ask you guys this. That being said, about Mike Tyson still being so relevant. Um, does it surprise you that even Floyd is no comparison to Mike Tyson?
no. I mean, it's always been like that. That's why Floyd couldn't rise to that standard until after Roy Jones and Mike was pretty much done. That's when Floyd started taking off. When Mike Tyson and Roy Jones was done, everybody
Mhm.
started paying attention to Floyd. They was paying attention to Mike Tyson, and they was paying attention to Roy Jones. Once Roy Jones lost and Mike Tyson had retired and was pretty much done with the sport, that's
Mhm.
when they started focusing on Floyd Mayweather. So if
That is a good
Mike
point.
Tyson, if Mike Tyson would have stayed and still been at his best, Floyd career would have had to prolong itself in order for him to become the pay-per-view star that he was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Floyd still. I mean, Mike still is the man. Yeah, he. If he fight dog, it's gonna be in millions of homes.
Let me ask you guys this: were you guys surprised to see how great Mike looked physically?
Who?
He didn't
Mike
look that
Tyson,
great to me. We talking about far like
physique
his
wise,
shape. Oh yeah, good
I
shape. You know,
mean,
he had lost a lot of weight in the hospital. He lost. He said he lost 25 pounds. You know, but yeah, he's still in physical good shape for a 58-year-old man. Salute to him. But as far as fighting shape, he doesn't need to do that no more. Then he said he wasn't going to retire. Then here come old Holyfield talking about something. Hey man, we need a trilogy. He's looking for a payday. Mike said, brother,
No, nah.
man, our trilogy is our friendship.
I
Holyfield
think
got
I
smoked
think
in
if
this fight.
I think if Mike Tyson and Holyfield get in the ring, I think Mike Tyson might knock Holyfield out.
Yeah, for real.
I think he might knock Holyfield out.
Holyfield, that guy blew wind on Holyfield and he went down, bro.
Yo, go.
Holyfield is completely done. He's
Done,
completely
done.
done. But Mike Tyson, he's still
Like we might be able to whoop him. You know what I'm saying?
he's still
Boy,
he,
he a nut. That dude said he's completely done.
Yeah. I mean,
the,
that guy was just in there and just like, I mean,
Oh,
did
you
you
messed
see
my
him get beat
camera up,
up?
free. Free, you messed my camera. This
Yeah, that was crazy.
he's completely done. That I
He's
like
fried.
like Mike Tyson. Mike
oh,
Tyson. He physically can still get in the ring. He doesn't have the reflexes and the mobility. But Holyfield, man, Holyfield might walk up to the ring with a walker. His ass is completely done. That man gonna need a walker, some crutches,
He
and a
looked like
daggone
Bambi in there, free.
foot
That boy
a
sick.
kickstand.
That
Yeah,
boy looked
he
like
said
Bambi in there,
completely
man. Hey,
done.
that what was that guy named Bentley? You good with that kind of stuff? What was that guy named that whooped Evander? What was it last year? The year before they whooped him. I was like, that. My grandfather was like, son, is that real? I'm like, yeah. Like he's like, what's Holyfield doing? I'm like, getting beat up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Getting
that dude look
smoked.
like Kirby. I don't know if you guys ever played Nintendo. That dude
Yeah,
that beat him up look like
yeah.
Kirby.
What was that guy like? What was that guy's name? Somebody type that in
I
the
don't
chat.
know,
That
but I
dude.
know when I saw that fight,
It was horrible.
Holyfield reminded me a heavyweight version of Glass Joe. That man got hit
Mm.
and was just all over the place. I was
All
like,
over the place, bro. He's like I said, dude, blue went on him.
dog,
Holyfield went down. I was like,
the
That
damn.
boy free. I can't
is
get
this the
over
real
that. Y'all heard
Holyfield
it.
or
That's
this
why
is
we got the Puerto Rican prince. This brother said, that brother's getting
I'm like, dog, is this the real Holyfield or is that a clone? Because
Like,
the last
yeah,
Holyfield I remember said he wasn't getting whooped
Oh,
like
that's
that.
crazy.
not just
Oh,
getting
That
smoked
man
like by a
Holyfield.
YouTuber. That guy was a YouTuber, wasn't he?
I don't know what he was.
I don't think he was no real
I
fighter.
I I know he's the nigga that whooped Holyfield ass. That's who he is.
Yeah,
That's who he
100%.
is. I don't know what he was known prior to that, but he known for whooping Holyfield ass now.
Belfort. What does he do, Bentley? What
Belfort.
does Belfort do?
Belfort.
YouTube.
He was a MMA fighter.
Oh
Oh, you
my god.
was? Oh, my God.
If that's the same
So
Belfort yeah, the old MMA fight. That's what I
yeah,
thought.
Belfort for Holyfield.
Oh, now,
Jesus.
Oh,
hold on. Now I take it back. I take it back.
No, I said Victor Belfort.
Belfort was a monster in MMA. In his prime, Belfort was a monster in MMA. But I wouldn't expect him to whoop Holyfield like that, though. I wouldn't
He
expect
put
that.
on for MMA that night. Cause you
oh.
know
Hey, but
every
let me
time
say this.
MMA niggas get in the boxing ring, they get cooked. But that night there, I mean, that's something to say, man. I knocked out. I'm old too. Shoot, I got a payday. I went there and knocked out the champ.
Matter of
Shoot,
fact,
Well, let me say this real
Belfort
quick
gonna go
for y'all
down. He's
niggas.
gonna go down probably more so known for whooping Holyfield ass than what he did in MMA.
right.
You go free.
And I'm
See,
telling
free
you,
gonna start
like
roasting.
Holyfield
They
looked
gonna
like
roast him till he's
Bambi in there,
gone.
dog. He
Can't
hit
roast
that.
him free.
Hit that nigga one time, and Holyfield turned into Bambi, man. He just started
Dog.
bobbling all over the ring, man. It was
Let
ugly.
me say this real quick, y'all. Shout out to Prince Charles Martin on his knockout victory. Had a fight at his hometown. He actually was the promoter. I got to speak to the champ. I want to have him on here real soon. But congratulations on your knockout, 6 round knockout. The dude he fought, uh, Prince Charles got mad when I said he was an Amazon driver, but he was he fought somebody, man. Some dude we never heard of and
Did
knocked
he
him out cold.
did he do him like Belfort did Holyfield?
No,
Mhm.
he said that boy came for he was completely done.
An
No,
old MMA fight. How old is he, Bentley? I
no,
mean, he probably ain't older than
Belfort.
Evander.
He's not older than Floyd. I mean, Evander. He's not
Evander, he ain't
older than
older than
Evander,
Evander.
but he should be in his 50s. Belfort
Dang.
should be in his 50s or
Evander's
close
like
to
old
it.
as Jesus, man. He's like
So
62.
Evander's 60, right? Because isn't Evander a couple of years older than Mike, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's 60.
Evander's
Oh,
60. Evander's
Jeez.
60.
Evander need to pay that for him to call out Mike Tyson after his last outing. He
No,
definitely needed. So, oh,
no,
matter of fact, Mike, somebody give that man a ticket. Give him a ticket.
no.
Somebody give him
Evander
a meal
get
ticket.
Evander get in the ring with Holyfield. I mean, yeah, Evander get in the ring with Mike Tyson. That man is going to get sent to the upper room when Jesus comes.
Hey, what do you say? They're gonna take me out singing that, man. And
Yeah, he's
they're gonna take me out
47. So
singing.
yeah, I knew he was close to 50. He's 47. He a year younger than me. So I can
I'll
go in
say
there
So,
and
this.
whoop
I'll say
Holyfield
this
then.
though.
I can go in there and
so
whoop
Choo
Holyfield.
looked impressive, Bentley. He looked impressive. He did, but let's just be totally honest, man. The dude he fought was a dog on Amazon flex driver, man. I don't know what you thought that dude was. That dude came to go to bed. Soon as Sushi hit him with that 1-2, he went to bed. So I don't know. I give him credit, but the thing with
he looks
Sushi at
good
this
and he
point,
stays sharp. That's the answer to your question.
yeah. I'll tell you this though.
Hey,
Sushi,
speaking on,
man,
hold
I
up.
want to see what he got. I want to see what he got.
Speaking on
Cause,
Shushu,
huh?
Shushu is ranked number one in the WBC,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
number one in the WBA, number two well, technically number one in the WBA because the WBA number one is vacant, so Choo is number two. So technically he's number one. And number two in the WBO. The IBF is the only sanctioning body that has him ranked number 5. So he's in position to fight one of those 3 champions. He's in position to fight one of those 3: the WBO, WBA, and the WBC.
And the WC probably will call a mandatory because Fig hasn't defended that title yet, and I believe it was vacant when he got it.
Who got the belt?
Fig got a belt. Man, that tall dude.
I can pull it up right here. I was just looking at
126 weight class.
Figueroa got a belt. Angelo Leo.
I forgot about Leo.
Rafael Espinoza and Nick Ball. And the IBF, Nick Ball got the WBA. He took that from Raymond Ford. Brandon Figueroa got the WBC. Angelo Leo got the IBF, and Rafael Espinoza got the WBO. The question that I have is, did Leo Santa Cruz retire?
Yeah, he hasn't fought in years.
Anything. Yeah, he's been retired.
I didn't know.
But didn't he fight Abner Mares or something? Didn't he have a he fought recently, like maybe last year, the year before last?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Messing around with them wrestlers, man. You had your boy Gary tell me I could put my hands on your father.
Yeah, that man did not want to get in there with Gary. He's like, nah, you can have my father. I'm cool. I'm not getting there. Dad, nice knowing you, man. You did a great job raising me, but I'm out. That man said, man, I'm close enough to touch your father. That man said, Dad, appreciate you raising me right. It was nice knowing you.
I'll never forget his dad looking at Gary like, what is this dude doing? Like, he don't speak English. So.
He fought in February 22.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
No.
I mean, he's not in none of the sanctioning bodies' rankings at all. He ain't in none of them at all. So he got to be retired because even if he lost his belt, he wouldn't have dropped completely out like that. So he got to be retired.
Shout out to my man Green. That dude, Free, has been on fire tonight. He first completely done. And go ahead, Dad. You raised me right.
That's what it looked like he said.
He fought on the undercard of Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, Leo fought on the undercard of Keith Thurman and Barrios.
Yeah, that was last fight. That was a long time ago. That was a minute ago.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Hey, let me ask you this real quick, Price. Now, if a cat got on camera and had his arm around Chico, I know you wouldn't let that go down.
What?
He said if a dude had his arm around your folks.
Yeah, he had his arm around your folks, but I know you wouldn't let that go down, man.
I don't understand what's happening.
We talking about Gary Russell hugged Leo Santa Cruz father and said,
"Oh,
Leo, are you gonna fight me now? I'm close enough to touch your father."
Yeah, that was crazy. I would have had to see him on that one.
Hey,
that nigga Leo was like, Dad, it was nice knowing you. You did a great
job.
But
when Leo, I'm done. When his pop passed, Gary Russell was very respectful.
No, Gary Russell, I mean, he didn't disrespect his father. He was just letting Leo know, nigga, if I wanted to, I could disrespect the hell out of your father. Hey, what you gonna do about it? Leo was like, go ahead. I don't give a
fuck. Bentley said 2019.
That just got me how he did that. But as you guys know, man, we the world's most dangerous night show, man. But before we get out of here, man, I gotta ask you guys a quick question. Where in the world is Shakur Stevenson? Has anybody seen him? Is he the new Carmen Sandiego?
I mean, he was at the Keyshawn fight. He was there.
I'm just saying he's been hiding out.
He was injured.
I mean, he in rehab.
He's injured.
He in rehab. So I mean,
he's injured.
I'm just saying he did all that talking to Devin.
Well, you gotta
do it while he.
You got. But you got to understand, the man had surgery on his hand. He can't tweak like that. He can't tweak like that. His hands is in the cast. He can't tweak like that. So I expect to see Shakur back doing his talking and ramping once it get January and they know he's about to make a fight for February because he said he's coming back in February. We're gonna
Yeah,
see. He said he want Williams Zapata. We're gonna see. We're gonna
Wait,
see what happens.
Keyshawn Davis knocked out Leo Pop or Tio's Pop? Wait, what?
Yeah,
yeah,
that Keyshawn that was back when Keyshawn was like 16.
yeah,
That's when he was young. They
He
was
knocked out Tiafimo's dad?
yeah,
yeah.
he
We
took
don't bring up that coward on here, man.
yeah, he
Wait,
told
what happened?
I
nothing.
don't want. I don't care to know, man.
See,
I don't. He's
he
We're
just
not
won't
full of
talking
fight
shit.
about
him.
him, we're talking about his pop.
He
His
won't
pop
fight him.
got
Oh no, I think his pops got in the ring or something. They were sparring, and his father got in the ring or something like that, and Keyshawn stole and dropped him
dang.
No, he said something with the N word, and
or
he
something like
shot.
it was something crazy, and Keyshawn hit him and dropped him,
Dang.
Yeah.
knocked him out cold. Well, I don't know if he was out cold, but he
Put him
rocked him.
down. Put him down. Shout
Hey,
out
but
Keyshawn.
on that note, man, tomorrow we supposed to have a special guest. I'm not gonna say who because you know how these fighters do. Sometimes they don't show up. But I'm gonna tell you guys this, man. We got some big things going. Thank you guys on 4,000 subscribers. The numbers are climbing. Appreciate all everybody watching the shorts. You know, it's a lot of fun for me. It's a lot of fun for us to come do the show together. So hey, we are only 400 hours away from being monetized. So please look out for us. If you can, let our lives play on your cell phones, on your TVs. Hey, you know, it's BBO, the most unbiased guy in boxing. Shout out to my man Westside GP showing up. Last minute shorty in the house. If I was from Baltimore, he'd be on time. But shout out to my man GP, man, because GP, the only guy I know that's from the west side that eats crab chips. So shout out to my man. Oh, he said no rise tonight, so we'll cook for a little longer. Um, that being said, GP,
Yeah,
I
give
want
me a
to ask you
second.
a question. I want to ask you a question, man. Why in the world have you not been talking about Keyshawn versus Abdul Wahid? I don't know why GP hasn't been saying that. That's the fight I want to see.
uh,
Super my man Green Light
it's,
sound like
it's,
all
it's
your
no
children.
point in
Hey,
talking about because Keyshawn already let the hat out the bag that the fight was already lined up for him to fight Barencha. So
yeah.
all of that calling out Tank Davis, he knew that the fight couldn't be made because he already had another fight lined up.
You know what I will say I'm tired of, Free? I'm tired of all the capping in boxing. You don't know what to believe now. I'll be
I'm
honest
like,
with you.
you say you want Tank Davis, knock knock and all this stuff, and then what? 8 days later, he come out the fight. I can't wait to get in the ring with Birchak. I mean Barancic and all this stuff. He's a great fighter. He trains with Loma and Usyk and all this stuff. I'm like, so what was all the talk about Tank Davis if you already knew you had a fight lined up? You
Yo,
ain't no need for you talking about Tank Davis.
hey,
That
somebody sent us a cash app. I'm not sure. I'm still learning how to use this QR code, but the QR code, you know, that somebody hit the QR code and it's supporting the channel. I appreciate it, man, because as you guys see, man, I put a lot of work into this channel, man. It's not easy. Shout out to my man. Hey, as you
yeah.
guys
I
see, I got
mean,
the camera
I
stand.
I just I mean, the funny thing about the whole situation is a lot of these people calling out Tank Davis, and I'm not saying that they ain't supposed to call him out. He's the number one guy. They are supposed to call him out, but they acting like they want to fight with Tank Davis next. Tank Davis ain't saying nothing, and it's coming out that these guys already got fights lined up. So Tank Davis is killing them by not even saying nothing. He's killing them.
Right,
He ain't even saying nothing. He's like,
right.
man, okay, they calling my name. I know this fight can't happen. And then all of a sudden they come out. Oh, they got a fight lined up. So
And
you
I thought I
prepping for
saw
what?
March or February for that Keyshawn and
I'll tell you
Baranchik.
this. I'll tell you this, Green Light. I do not in no way support a piece of trash like Tiffany Lopez. Please don't bring him up. He's a racist and a goofy. Him and Ryan Garcia gets no play on here. So
I'm not gonna say his name, but what I will say is he already came out and said he can't have a fight because he's in legal action against Top Rank. So until
Yeah.
that legal action is over with, he can't fight
Mhm.
anybody.
He
So
ain't
he's
doing
trying to
nothing
get
anyway.
somebody to get him out of that contract with Top Rank in order for him to
Canelo.
have a fight.
Now he glazing Canelo now because he need Canelo's money to get him out of there. Man, this dude
Yeah.
is so
So
fake and corny, bro.
he's not even in question because he can't fight right now. So that's not even in question. It's more so of the guys who are available. What guys are really available for Tank to fight that really wants that Tank fights?
I mean,
That was
there
just
ain't no
one.
fights. We did this the other day, didn't we, D3? We went over these
Yeah, it
names
ain't
and we
nobody.
looked at them all, and it was kind of like, all right, now people, I know people want them to drop Lamont. I don't really. I mean, I understand where the anger comes from. They said drop Roach and get another opponent. It doesn't, business don't work that
But
way, people, because y'all
now
never did no real business.
now
So
we know. Now we know. There's no point of dropping Roach when he already got a fight lined up. He already had the fight lined up. So he dropped Roach for Tank to not have a fight, and Keyshawn got a fight already lined up.
right,
That's
and
what I'm
which
saying.
which looked like they're trying to target that for. I thought I saw February or March.
Yeah, so I mean, you got a fight in February or March. We know Tank Davis' fight is scheduled for March 1st. So he dropped Lamont Roach to fight you, and you fight in the same month or the month before he's supposed to fight Lamont Roach. Now he's got to wait 4 or 5 months later for you to get ready to fight him. Now he's going to be out the ring for close to a year. No, it's stupid. As
Yeah,
I said, it's no fights that's literally available for him to fight right now. There's no fights available. Shakur's hurt. Loma already walked away from the table saying he want to spend time with his family. Keyshawn got a fight lined up with the other champion. So who y'all want him to fight? Y'all want him to go fight daggone Adula Mason? Y'all want him to go fight Andy Cruz?
well, then the people, the tank haters, what they do is they'll start throwing out 140-pound names, which they have a point. They do have a point, but he's not at that weight class at the end of the day.
No, what 140-pound fighter?
Mm, I don't know.
Emiliano.
Like I
I would
said,
have
we
to look
already
at
know.
it.
We already know one is in legal action. He ain't fighting.
Yeah, I think
The
we did this already. We did this.
the other one, which would have been a rematch, he ain't fighting. He's suspended. The other one, we don't know what weight class he's coming back at.
Yeah,
So he's still left with who y'all want me to fight. We already know Rayo is about to rematch Pitbull.
I don't
So
think that he is.
no, that fight is already done.
I thought they had. I thought I saw Pitbull Cruz matched up with somebody else.
Nah, Pitbull Cruz. I mean, unless they changed at the last minute, that fight was already done. That's why you saw Rayo training. He was getting ready for the rematch with Pitbull.
Well, De Los Santos ain't fought since Shakur, so
De Los Santos was injured. He injured his shoulder.
you
So
got
he's
Zepeda
rehabbing his
had a fight.
injury.
Zepeda already had a fight. I mean, we don't. I don't. Do we want to see him there with Abdulev?
You want to see him in there with Raymond Maritalo?
I mean,
I don't think Bob is going to make that fight, but
Gustio Lemons fought Andy Cruz. That's not happening. Cambozo, no. Frank Martin, he beat. That's the IBF. I
I
mean,
mean,
you got Schofield.
Schofield,
He just fought, didn't
he
he?
just fought. He
Right.
just fought.
Yeah, so he's X'd out. I'm reading 140-pounder names, people. I mean, like I said, De Los
Schofield almost
Santos.
got stopped.
No, that
I
was
tell you what.
35-pounders. You got Sandor Martin. You got Jack Catterall. You got Gary Antoine. And that's Sabril got a fight coming up. Regis lost. Claggett. I mean, 140.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
who
what I
was
thought.
Pitbull
Pitbull and
fighting?
Rayo
Pitbull
fighting
fighting
on the
Rayo?
Benavidez card. That's what I thought. Pitbull and Rayo's fighting on the
That's
David
what
Benavidez
I
card.
thought I saw that somewhere. Okay, I stand corrected then. Yeah, I thought I knew they was coming up.
Yeah, it looked like Eastside Cruz grew his hair out. He got a
Okay.
curl on top, like Baby Huey.
I'm
But
saying so the 140 is literally out of question because Tank ain't going 140 right now.
Well, and if
So
he did go to 140, this is what I would say to the people that hate him so much because I don't understand why you can't like Devin, Shakur, and Tank and Earl, Bud, and all of them. But that's just me. But if just going like because y'all like to argue, just going off these 140 pounders, and I'm reading 140 pounders. Um, you're not going to make a Devin Haney fight doing that. You got Puyo. Yeah, I want that. Did he just fought?
No, he ain't fought in a
no, I
while.
think
He
I
fought
think
Derek Russell a
I
while
think they
ago.
was talking about making that fight with somebody. I can't remember
Well,
who it was.
Puyo got the WBC. So, but you got Gary Antoine sitting there at 4.
That's what Puyo's supposed to be fighting Sandor Martin because Devin Haney didn't want to fight the mandatory. Puyo
Yeah,
supposed to
so
be fighting
Sandor
Sandor Martin.
Martin is Sandor. So Devin Haney. Okay, so you got Sandor Martin and Puyo. So there's one in a chance. Looks like he's rematching Isaac Cruz. So that's the WBA. And you got Pyro. What's up with Pyro?
Pyro is who Devin is trying to get. That's who Devin is trying to fight. Pyro
So
Pyro fought
why not?
somebody else.
So why not Tank go and beat up Pyro and take the IBF?
for because Tank is not going to 140 for one, and for two, like I said, Devin is trying to fight Pyro right now.
You got Richardson Hitchens at number 1 ranked at the
Matter
IBF.
of fact, that's the fight that's about to happen. Pyro and Richardson Hitchens.
Yeah.
That
I
fight is
heard
about
You-
to
that.
happen
Is
in
that
Puerto
really
Rico.
history?
In Puerto Rico. But that's who Devin wants to fight. He wants to fight Pyro. But Richardson Hitchens and Pyro is
Is
fighting in Puerto Rico.
yeah, Richardson Hitchens is number 1. You know how strict the IBF is. They don't even have Devin Haney's name in the IBF.
You know what's so funny?
Because
Ain't
he
it
was a
funny how he
champion. He
want to
was a
fight?
champion. That's why. He was
He
a
Yeah.
wants to
WBC
fight this
champion. He's
guy.
not in the rankings.
What's up with
It's funny how you want
Barboza?
to fight this guy, but he didn't want
Barbosa
separate
just fought
Martinez at
the
all.
last weekend.
Arnold
He,
Barboza, right?
he just fought this past weekend.
So
Barbosa
he's
just
out
fought.
of it, and I don't understand what the tank haters. What do y'all want them to do at this point? I mean, do you want them to pull one of these guys down? Do y'all want to? There's nobody for y'all to argue him to fight at 140, and then when you scroll down to 135, it gets worse. The names,
That's what I
you
said.
know.
Everybody that they want Tank to fight, they're already occupied. They're already occupied, or these guys are suspended, or legal actions. So
It's always something. And you
it's
got
really
that one guy
it's really nobody
um,
for him to fight.
that Lomachenko needs to get up the belt. Then he needs to vacate that IBF belt. I'm surprised the IBF is letting them get away with this. Now you got Zoro Abdullayev number 2. There is no number 1, and Keyshawn number 3 with the IBF.
What
So maybe Keyshawn can.
the only reason why they're not doing anything for Loma right now is because Loma already fought the mandatory, so there's no mandatory on the docket right now. So when it's time for Loma to have a mandatory, if
Yeah,
he still choose to be on vacation, quote unquote, then they'll take that belt from him. But right
yeah, because
now,
you're right. There is no number 1 rated
yeah,
fighter in
they're not gonna
IBF.
put nobody at number one until they call the mandatory. Then they'll move that person to number one.
Okay, right. The IBF is pretty. They're really strict. The IBF they strict, man. They don't play no games, man. The
Like I
IBF,
said,
but
it's really literally nobody for Tank to fight. And like I said, unless you want to see him fight Raymond Maritalo, but I don't think that Bob will make that fight because Raymond Maritalo is making a name for itself. I don't think Bob want him to get in there with a Tank Davis and destroy that name. So
He
it's
looked pretty
really
bad
nobody
versus
for him to fight.
TF too.
you said what, BVO?
I said he didn't look that great when he fought Tevin Farmer either.
No,
Maritolo
he
kind of
didn't. He didn't.
Nah,
A
kind
lot
of
of
got
people,
exposed.
a lot of people think that Tevin Farmer won that fight. So like I
yeah.
said, if you believe Tevin Farmer won that fight, you definitely don't want to put him in there with no Tank Davis.
No, he gonna get slept. I don't know what Tank does at this point. He got to do something. He got to get creative at this point, because what I mean, we
Nope.
just
I'm gonna tell
we
you what
just
Tank got
read
to
those
do.
names. We just read them names, people, and I don't know what y'all want him to do.
Tank Davis fight Lamont
I
Roach
did see
March first.
something like that, green light, but I didn't know if he was serious. My bad, free.
Lamont Tank Davis fight Lamont Roach March 1st. By March 1st, some of those guys, if not most of them, will be freed up, and then Tank Davis can go after somebody who's a little more competitive.
That's a good
Maybe
point.
maybe well, if he's gonna stay at 35. Maybe look at a Shakur Zapata winner.
I mean,
See what Lomachenko does.
he can run down on any one of those guys. Like I said, come March 1st, some of those guys will be freed up, and he can
Hmm.
start running down on some of those names that y'all want to see him in there with.
Yep. Like he can fight the winner of Baranchek and Keyshawn. He can fight
Yep.
Shakur and Zapata winner.
Yep.
So I don't know what y'all are so pissed off about the kid about, man. I know he believe me, he want to give y'all the big fights. He's a
I mean, we
dog like
already
that. I
seen that
know
he
he
tried.
wants to give y'all the big fights now. He's on his own. He's trying to show y'all he wants to give the big fights, and this is what happens. So now he got to
Yes,
step back. He got to take a stay busy fight, and he has to stay prepared, and he has to let all the pieces on the chessboard
that
move, and then he can jump out there.
that very well might happen. GP Loma come back in June for the Tank Davis fight, but it's going to be bad for Loma for sitting out
Yeah,
that long.
he
But
gonna
that
get
very
he gonna get
well
destroyed.
might happen.
I don't
Well,
think
you
he
know,
wants to
Loma
get.
always tends to look pretty good coming off, them layoffs. He always looks real good.
Yeah, I
Yeah, look
mean
good
that's
though.
on him.
Yeah.
He chose to sit out. That's on
I
him.
I I wanted I asked you guys this: was that all about money, or what was that really about?
You
What?
said say that again.
I said, was that really all about money?
I mean, at this point in Loma's career, it
Hmm.
is he wants to become undisputed, which I don't think he will ever get it. The only opportunity he had was when he fought Devin. I don't think he'll ever get it now. Um, but if it's not undisputed, the only other thing that's left for him to do is to get the biggest fight because at this point he's 36, about to be 37, or he is 37. Um, is he don't have nothing but a handful of fights left in him because Loma, we see Loma, he relies on his mobility and his reflexes. Once
Yeah,
that goes away, he's not the biggest of punchers. He has decent power, but he's not the biggest of punchers, and he's a small guy. He's going to be easy pickings for any of those young guys that's moving up in 35. Abdullah
oh, you said
Mason,
small in weight?
Keyshawn Davis, Raymond Muratala. He's going to be easy picking for those guys when he gets older in the age. So at this point, it is about the big fights. If he can get a big fight, it's about those fights.
I honestly can tell you this: I wasn't really shocked that he ducked Tank because I thought he really didn't have an opportunity to beat Tank. To be honest with you, I didn't
I
really think.
mean,
I agree with you too.
I'm just being honest. I don't think he even had an opportunity where he could beat Tank. So it's like I could.
I don't think he ever could have beat Tank. The closest to him being able to beat Tank, it was in 2017 when he was the A side and he supposedly had called out Tank Davis. He didn't send an offer. He was the A side at that point. He was, and that was before Tank Davis even fought Pedraga. So
Yeah,
Loma was clearly the A side at that point. And then we heard that Tank Davis gave Loma an offer. He said, "Hey, we can fight on pay-per-view." Loma was like, "Oh, he talking about he want to fight on pay-per-view." He never headlined a pay-per-view. Well, we see Tank Davis as a pay-per-view star. Loma didn't want that fight.
No, he didn't. Loma know what would happen if he take that fight. He's sitting on that IBF belt, and it's only a matter of time before he come up off of it. Because you got some young dogs. Keyshawn's third. You got Abdulev. He's second. I'm reading the
you know,
IBF.
the whole thing, y'all, is that when I'm honestly looking at the fights that we get in, I honestly can tell you guys this: I haven't really seen nobody duck like this since Floyd Mayweather. It's funny how Abdul Wahid and Floyd have a lot of common. Remember when everybody was running from Floyd? I haven't really seen anybody run from a guy in a long time. And I got to give Abdul Wahid his credit. Guys are really running from him. I mean, it's like, dang, is he that bad a dude? Is he what they say he is, free? I
Yeah, you
mean,
can't see it.
I'm not saying I do you say really had a chance on beating Tank. I think that was the only opportunity that he had to beat Tank if he was going to ever beat Tank. I think that was the only opportunity because at that time Tank wasn't really proven at that time. He didn't he was it was still early in his career. Tank was only been he's had only been in the boxing industry at that time for 3 years, so he wasn't really proven in that aspect. Far as Tank Davis, guys running from Tank Davis, I'm not going to say that they running from Tank Davis. I'm just going to say they not making themselves available. I put it that way. I'm not saying they running from them, but they're not making themselves available.
Oh,
Right.
Cavs. I'm sorry, Cavs lost. I think he was like 15-0, and we lost.
Somebody beat them. They finally lost. Who beat them?
The Celtics.
Oh yeah, it would take the champions to do that, But I hate the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
Because
was
I truly believe these guys do want to fight Tank Davis because they know it's a big money fight. But
Yeah.
I also believe
also
that they're not in a rush to get knocked out neither.
Yeah.
so none
They
of
want
this
to
about
stretch their career out as long as they can before they go get that payday because they probably, that's going to probably be their biggest payday. And you probably won't see them for they probably take the year off with the money and try to get back. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he can not. Shakur know how to survive, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think they want to fight. I just don't think that they rush to get knocked out because Shakur can survive against the competition that we've seen him in there with. We don't know if he can survive against a guy like Tank Davis. We don't know
Yeah.
if he can survive against a guy like Williams or Payton. We believe he can, but we don't know if he can. So, I mean,
You think Shakur gonna fall for them traps Tank be setting up?
I'm not, I don't know if he has a choice.
Mm.
I don't know if he has a choice. I think Tank Davis is just smarter than most of those guys. I think he's just smarter than them.
His
Like I said,
IQ higher than Shakur's.
yes, yes, most definitely, yes. Like this is the thing that I said about Tank Davis versus everybody else. Tank Davis is one of the very few boxers in the sport today that studies every aspect of his opponent. He studies their sparring partners. He studies their habits. He studies their fights. Most guys, they leave it up to their team to watch the film on their fighters and give them the pointers that they need to get. Tank Davis is the one that's watching the film on these guys.
Yeah, that's
Most
he
guys
does
crazy.
don't
know
do
his
that.
stuff. He know everything that's going on. If you notice, he always arguing with sparring partners. Like, oh, you a bum, you this or that.
He knows
Yeah, because when
he
he
knows
whooped your
everything.
boy from Ohio, Montana Love and sparring, I thought they was gonna have to bring the police in there to get Tank off that boy.
uh, I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. Tank's a little bitty guy, and I know we all watch boxing, but all you gotta do is hit somebody like that in the head with a bat,
I I mean, I
and
put it
He not that little. He's short, but he's not like a little guy. You know what I mean?
I
He
put it
might be
this way.
short.
I put it this way. If anybody at 135 have a chance of beating Tank Davis, it will be Shakur.
Yeah,
I don't think Keyshawn is seasoned enough to beat Tank Davis. I think
me either.
Keyshawn still have a lot of holes in his defense that Tank Davis will explore and put Keyshawn on his backside a few times.
But you know
But
what though, D Free? I feel like this. Maybe you are right. Maybe he don't got enough season on the chicken. But you know what though? I feel like this. I feel like if he goes in there and he looks good and he beats Baranchek convincingly and he jumps out there and he wants to fight him, then let him go for it. You never know.
oh
He
yeah,
might do so,
I mean, by all means, because he has a belt now. By all means, I'm just saying at this point, with no belt, Tank Davis is not going to get the credit for beating a Keyshawn Davis with no belt. Now, if he has a belt, they might not say Keyshawn was built for Tank Davis yet, but he had a belt. So
Yeah,
Tank
he's
Davis went in there and
unified.
took the belt. He won the
Hmm.
belt.
Right. So it don't
that's
matter. Go ahead, BBL.
no. I'm saying the thing that's so crazy about it. I don't know. Do the belts matter or do they don't? I mean, I just think
They
Keyshawn's
clearly
style.
matter. Clearly.
Like
I
I
think I think Keyshawn's style will be the difference, in my humble opinion. I think
like
his style will be the difference.
like I've always said, the belts don't matter to me. They matter to the fighters. The belts don't matter to me. As long as it's a good fight, I want to see it. Like Keyshawn Davis versus Tank, even with a belt, it's not really that good of a fight. We believe that it will be a good fight, but it's really not that good. I look at Keyshawn Davis at this point in his career, barring the skill set and all that, because I think he's more skilled. But I look at Keyshawn Davis at this point in his career, it's like Tank Davis fighting somebody like a Ryan Garcia. He's more skilled than Ryan Garcia, but on the experience level, he's not ready for a Tank Davis. Just like Ryan would never be ready for Tank Davis.
Man,
And
he
when
wasn't
Tank
ready.
Davis fought him, he showed that Ryan wasn't
It
ready
was
for him.
levels. It was
Yeah, it's
so. It was
levels to it.
levels.
That's why I said on this scale right now, Keyshawn Davis in there with Tank Davis is like Ryan being in there with Tank Davis. It's gonna be a
I think
similar
Keyshawn's a
outcome.
lot better than. I think he's
No,
a lot better
yeah,
than that
he's
guy.
much
But
he's
I
much more
think it'll be a
skilled.
little bit more competitive. I don't think Keyshawn will take a knee and not get up until after the 10 count.
I'm not. I don't know.
He
I
gonna have
don't
to
know.
sleep Keyshawn.
I don't know. I don't know. But what I would say it would be more competitive because of Keyshawn's skill level. But far as the actual fight, I think it's going to be the same outcome.
Yeah, I get you. But nevertheless, Keyshawn Davis is in. All he got to do is keep winning, and he can put himself in a position for a Tank Davis fight. Now I'm the WBO champ. What's up? Let's unify. Send me the contract so Bob can look at it and they can get in there. But Keyshawn, I mean, I'm with kind of with Free. He might need some more seasoning in the mixing bowl or whatever. But if he gets the belt, then I feel like he is ready because he's a champion now. So I don't care how many fights you got. I don't care about your experience. All that you a
Yeah.
world champion now. So that's
Yeah.
why I say belts matter in the sport of boxing. I mean, I ain't gonna say it matters to me too much, but I do like for like a big fight to be like a unification or a title fight or undisputed. I do like that personal. It's like a cherry on the top of the cake or whatever, but like belts definitely matter. People try to say, "Oh, belts don't matter. Belts don't matter." Well, if you're looking at it like how D Free is, then no, they don't matter because he doesn't give a damn about the belts. But these fighters, the in the sport of boxing itself, that under that umbrella of the sport of boxing, the belts absolutely matter because now, like Free just said, Keyshawn don't got no leverage. What is good for Tank to go in there and spark this kid? Let's say he drop Roach and say, "Get in there, then me and you in March or whenever the fight is or whatever the new time is for the fight," and he go in there and spark him. People gonna say, "Man, that boy had 12 fights." But now if he go get a title, then he's an Olympian. He's older. He moved fast. He got a belt now. So yeah, the belts do matter for the fighters. Absolutely.
Yeah. For the
I
fighters, like I
don't need
said.
nobody to want to start painting that narrative to where belts don't matter to these young fighters. They absolutely matter to these fighters because they
Yeah.
changed
I
their
mean, I've
life. They
always
changed
said that
their
the
paydays.
belts matter to the fighters. They don't matter to
Yeah.
me. They
Yeah,
they
not
matter to the fighters.
yeah.
But
When people ask that question though, do belts matter? I would like for it to be asked more specific. Do belts matter in the sport of boxing? You know what I mean? Not to you. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
me.
that's why I've always said the belts matter to the fighters. They don't
Yeah.
matter to me because I'm a fan. I could care less if you got a belt or not. If it's a good fight, I'm gonna watch it.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
I could care less if there's a belt on the line. If Tank Davis and Devin Haney fight tomorrow, I'm watching it.
Hmm.
There will be no belt on the line. I'm watching it. If
Yeah.
Tank Davis and Shakur fights tomorrow, there's no belt on the line. I'm watching
You
it.
know what's crazy, Free? When I was a young boy watching boxing in the 90s, and it was a good fight, not for a belt, which was rare, but there happened a lot. I felt the way that the fight wasn't on. I was like, dang, I wish the belt, I wish some, you know what I'm saying? When I was a young boy, though. But now as I got older, I can't, I'm not going to say, because I'll be lying to y'all if I'll be like, yo, Prize, I don't care if the belt, I do. Imagine if Earl and Bud wasn't for Undisputed, it was just Earl and Bud. Yeah, it's still a good fight, but that undisputed or unification or a title fight just put that extra sauce on it for me.
Yeah, I mean that's what I say. It's for the fighters. It's better when there's a belt on the line, but it doesn't really matter. As long as it's a good fight, I'm gonna watch it. Like when who was it that fought? It was somebody David Benavidez and Caleb Plant.
Yeah, that
That
wasn't
was
for
a good
nothing,
fight.
man.
There was no belt on the line.
Right,
It was a good fight. I watched it
And
because
right.
it was a
really,
good
and
fight.
they waited till they both didn't have their straps to fight, which was crazy.
Now Canelo was ducking the reason why no straps was on because he would have
Mom
smoked.
said they could have been fought each other.
Yeah, I mean they could have been fought each other, but like I said, it still was a good fight. I still watched it. It was no belt
Oh
on the
yeah.
line. I mean, other than uh 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 David Benavidez interim belt. I mean, but I don't really count that. But other than that, there was
I
no
mean, that
belt on
don't
the
count.
line.
I
So
don't like
and
those
it still
belts,
was a
Where you get
man.
loss.
all them belts from?
They got people running around
I'm
here.
saying,
Yeah, they got people running around here
No, I
telling
seen David
Pacquiao an eight
Benavidez go to
division
the.
champion.
I seen David Benavidez walk around with two WBC belts. I'm like, dog, what two belts you got? You got one interim belt, but two
Yeah,
WBC.
well, he has an image to look. He has an image to look,
I
and
guess he
and he
was
has
trying
to
to say
keep
he
up
was a
with his image.
two-time WBC champion. I guess that's what he was
Yeah,
trying to say because he is a
those are
two-time
his belts.
WBC
He
champion.
he did one. Yeah, he won those belts, but he lost them on the scale.
He lost one of them on the scale, and he lost one to recreation.
Yeah, which is stupid. They shouldn't penalize these fighters for recreational. I don't care if they was smoking crack. That's their business and their personal lives.
You can't be using drugs. That's just like your job. If your job doing drug tests and they say you can't use drugs and you get caught using drugs, you can't get mad that you get fired because you pop dirty. That's
Yeah,
your, that's your
that's corny.
job.
I feel like that's a violation of the. I mean, it
No,
depends
it's
what you
not.
do.
I
It
mean, you didn't
depends
you
what you
didn't have
do.
you didn't have to take that job. You could have
In
go
my
take
career,
another one.
right? Yeah, my
hey,
career is
free,
serious
hey,
like that.
free, hey,
You didn't
free.
have to take that job.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold
You
my
on.
knew
Hey,
career
free,
is
you
you
like
know what I
knew
that.
that
just
that
thought
job
about?
was doing drug tests before you took it. You didn't have to take it. You could have said, "Oh, they doing drug tests." Nah, I know I like to do this. I'm going over here.
Hey, free. You know what I just thought, man? You just said that it's completely done.
We still tweaking off of that.
Hey, that's so far to say that about my hero, man.
What I
It's
say, he was completely
completely
done.
done.
Cooks.
I mean, it is what it is. That man was completely done when he got in that daggone ring. I was
I
like,
ain't gonna lie. I'm just
this is
saying,
not
free.
Evander.
That hurt my feelings, bro. The more I think, the more I hear you. When I hear that in my head, he's
No, that
completely.
that that wasn't Evander that I was watching. That was Bobby Holyfield. That wasn't Evander
Yeah,
Holyfield. That was
that
Bobby
was like
Holyfield.
Terry or something. I don't know who that guy was.
That was not
That
Hey,
guy
Evander.
was, and then he had on his shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like he came to Rumble and he let that old MMA, not old, but he let that MMA man. He boxing took an L on that. I'm glad a lot of people don't know about that because
Yeah,
boxing took an L with that one.
that was
I
not
gotta get
Evander.
that footage now. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. That really, hey, when
Go
Free
ahead, it's
said
on
that,
YouTube.
I
It's only like 10 minutes long. Go ahead, watch. You can watch it right now.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I just when I just hear him say it, he's completely done.
You
I
must ain't
mean,
see the
hey,
fight.
I mean, y'all
No,
tell
I
me
seen
what
the,
y'all saw. That
I
man,
seen the
that man was
highlights. He went
completely
down
done.
like a ton of bricks. I seen that. I was like, whoa.
That man,
Man, he
that
looked like
man,
Trevor Burbick drunk all over the ring.
no, that man. I'm gonna tell you what Evander Holyfield looked like in that fight. Evander Holyfield looked like H2O when he turned into an ice cube. That's what Evander Holyfield looked like. When H2O turned into an ice cube. That nigga went down like a ton of bricks.
I mean, it was
you
bad.
know,
It was
you
like
know who could
bad.
fall. You know who could fall funny when that boy Roy would get hit. He go right to sleep.
Yeah, Roy was like,
Especially by that
man,
Dennis
what you want to do?
Lebediev
What you
guy.
want to
That
do? Bow! I'm sleeping. That man get hit one time. I'm sleeping.
I'll never forget that too, man. I was so mad at that fight. I'm like,
No, that man
he's
head bounced off that daggone ring so hard. You saw that
against
joint
who?
dribble like a basketball. You already know he ball headed. That joint
Against
dribbled like
who?
a basketball.
Which one?
The Tarver fight or the Glenn Johnson,
Uh,
whichever one
he
you want to
both
look at.
both
Glenn.
sides is
Nah,
both
Both
that
joints
both
that
he
the,
sides.
dribbled off
the
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 ball.
most brutal one was that Dennis Lebediev guy in Russia.
Oh, he
That
was
was
real
brutal.
old. He was sleep.
Man,
I
that
didn't. I
guy
didn't
Roy
even.
was doing all
No,
right. I thought Roy was winning until that
I
guy
didn't even.
put
I'm,
Roy
I'm gonna
to
tell you right
sleep.
now. I didn't watch Roy after he got knocked out cold with Glenn Johnson. I was like, Roy is completely done. I didn't watch no more of his fights. He's
Go
done.
watch that. Go look at that
Hey, hold
Lebediev.
on,
I
this
can't say
dude
his name
free for
right, but
nothing.
that
This brother said he
that
got knocked out
Lebediev
cold.
guy.
That man got knocked out
I mean,
cold.
free. Roy was on the mat for like 10 minutes, bro. I was scared for him, man. I thought I mean, they really had to come pick him up. They had to put a cold towel on his neck. That I can't say his name right. I butcher his name. Lebediev, or
Oh
whatever.
man.
In Russia, go look that highlight up. And you want to see somebody go to bed? Man, It was
That
like
dude
putting a
said,
child to sleep.
no, no.
when Bernard Hopkins got knocked out of the ring by Joe Smith, that Bernard
Mm.
Hopkins got in the ring. He was like, "Nigga, why you hit me that hard?" Why? That's the look that he had on his face when he climbed back to the ropes. He was like, "Why you hit
Nobody
me
Hey,
got
like that?"
knocked out of the ring like Rockman against Oleg Moskayev. Man, Moskayev knocked him.
no,
Jim
you
Levy
know
was
who
like,
got,
he
you know who
landed
got
right
knocked
next
out.
to
I'm just
me.
thinking about the look that Bernard Hopkins had on his face. He got back in the ring like, "Nigga, you don't know this a boxer, man." That
Hey,
nigga, he's shaking his head like, "Yeah, this nigga, this nigga hit me way too hard.
what?
We supposed
It's
to be in
too
here
much.
playing. He hit me way too hard. He know I'm 50 years old."
Hey, no matter how you shake it, man. No matter how you shake it, man. Boxing can be super funny at times, man. I'll tell you this, my
Hmm.
one of my one of my favorite fights, man. People get mad at me when I say this, but man, Trevor Burbick beat the sleeves off Muhammad Ali. Man,
Man, get out of here with
that
that.
fight was.
Out of all the fights
You
somebody
remember when
got
Ali
whooped
had the
on, you can't.
mustache?
Yeah,
You said
man, he
what?
had that. I said, out of all the fights, you picked that when that man should have never been doing that. Ain't
Hey
talking about the
man,
goat. So get out of here with that.
I don't know what the hell Green Light talking about so many people in the line. What are you talking about?
We know Green
And
Light
shout
be
out to
trolling.
yeah, salute the green light. Hey, but the funniest thing, man, was my man said
He
he
said that
read
a
this.
minute ago. Though.
He done. Oh, y'all just not seeing. He said I seen crackheads walk faster than some people run. Also, the Lawrence Taylor run uh through brick wall. Dope, open. I tell you what though, I'll never forget watching that video of Warren Sapp where he was in the talking to the cops and he told the girl
Warren Sapp. What are you talking about?
where they caught him on video and he said, I beg of you, tell me what I did wrong. I beg you tell me what I did wrong. He said I played
Warren
the wrong
Sapp.
character for several fools,
What
man.
was he tricking?
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He's doing some goofy stuff. He was
Yeah,
like,
Warren Sapp is an annoying guy. Like,
I
cause I
love
watched
Warren
that.
Sapp, bro.
I do
I
too
love
as a football player, but like if you watch Deion Jr. like how I do, because I like keeping up with Deion Sanders in Colorado. So you follow that, you can get the behind the scenes stuff. Warren Sapp is annoying, bro. Every time you turn around, he's in the damn camera spitting tobacco. I'm like, man, that nigga do chew. Man, that nigga cook, man.
hey, when you tell that girl, blow me, I just
Yo,
made your friend blow me. Shout out to
Warren
Warren
Sapp
Sapp.
is he's a mess. Shout out to Warren
He
Sapp.
had one of the best Hall of Fame speeches I ever heard. When he was crying to his ex-wife, baby, you was this to the bone. Speaking of to the bone, we got my man Michael Phelps on here. What's going on, Big Dre? How you feeling, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man?
Salute
Man,
the big drop drizzy.
I had just thought about you, man. They had some guys out there protecting Abdul Wahid, and I could just see you in your free Abdul Wahid shirt, man. What makes you protect Abdul Wahid so much?
I look at his timeline, man, and at first when he was before he was under his own promotional banner,
Uh-huh.
fighting strictly under GTD Promotions, when he was fighting under Mayweather Promotions, the word was I fight whoever they put in front of me. Okay, and
Hmm.
they made good fights for him, and he fought whoever it was they put in front of him. They lined him up. He knocked them down. In the story. Now that he um, is in more control of his own destiny, um, as I want to put it, the his fights are harder to be made because people are saying, well, um, okay, yeah, I want to fight Tank. I want to fight Tank. I want to fight Tank. But if promoters said, like Bob Arum says, why am I gonna make a fight with Javante Davis? I get nothing out of making a fight with Javante Davis. He's gonna beat my fighter. He's gonna take my title. It's gonna be over with. It doesn't benefit his company to make a fight with Javante Davis. It won't be shown on his network, which is ESPN. The place where he has a contract. So it while it may make sense for the fighter, it doesn't make dollars for Bob Arum, and that's all Bob Arum cares about is the dollars. He want to get the dollars from both of them. He knows it's going to be a per view fight, and as a pay per view fight, it's not going to be on ESPN. Um, he knows that it's going to be, um, no matter where it is, he's not going to get the kickback. His fighter will get paid handsomely, but he won't. He'll get paid that 30% or 35% that he's due, um, because his fighter fought outside of the promotional banner. You know, um, it's harder for him to make fights. Everybody's trying to line up fights with somebody as soon as they come off of a fight. Some people before they come off of a fight. Hell, the only time Bob was trying to make a fight with Tank was for Loma, and that was a cash out fight. And Bob knew it. Loma
You
said,
said
Mhm.
cash
I'm not down with that.
If it's a cash out fight, then Bob will do it. If it's not going to benefit, he just get his 600 or 700,000 or whatever it is, then he's not really going to pull the trigger on it, bro. But like Loma and Tank is a big cash out fight, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he'll throw him in there. But if it's going to do like that gate for him and Lomachenko would do good on the gate, I think it'll do solid pay per view numbers, and everybody will reap the benefit, But like Bob's not going to throw his guys in there if he's not going to make money. I mean, the Bob father wants money. I know he's
Bob,
100 million years old. The Bob father wants the WBO belt, control of that sanctioning body, and the money. That's
You
it.
know what I wondered, Big Dre? Free, if D Free you back, I don't know if D Free is back, but Prize and Dre, you know what I wonder? What is Bob Arum still doing in the sport?
He can't like LeBron. He won't let go. You know what I mean? He like Jerry Rice on the
wait a minute.
Raiders, right? Jerry
What is
Rice on the
Bob still doing
Raiders.
in the sport? What is Don King still doing in this sport?
Both of them, they the same age, ain't they?
Hey,
Hey,
91 years
you know
old,
what
man.
got me? I think I love Don King. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I done got that speech memorized. What he say? Turkey. I can't wait to meet you with great anticipation. I love that.
Turkey
Working
probably did
together
something
first.
with Don.
No.
I love.
I like Bob Arum from the '80s. Only in America. Only in America.
Are you talking about Don from the '80s? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love how Don is, man. What would he say? I'll be waiting to hear from you with great anticipation.
I bet.
Set it up, Mauricio. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. I just love Don King, man. That's my guy, man. What he
and,
say?
and and Don see the dollars. That's what
Yep.
Don see dollars.
Donnie Dallas. You know what I'm saying? He need that. He gonna get his cut. When T.O. try to run over there to Triller and get that money, if that fight would have went through, T.O. wouldn't have made no real money. Bob was gonna get a nice little 600, 700,000 from that.
Listen,
Hey, I ain't,
between Bob and Don, boy, Tio wouldn't make a dime.
Mm-hmm.
you know what's so crazy, man? I don't know why Pride still supports this racist, but
I
shout
don't
out to
support him.
I don't even bring up the coward's name. You know what I mean?
I don't like him. I can't stand him. I've been not liking him for a long time. When he got after he beat Tio, after he beat Loma, he got them belts and tried to act funny like he just
I don't
something
know
that he
about all
wasn't.
that. All I know, I don't play you calling nobody black no.
He's a goofy. He's a clown. I can't wait till somebody smoke him.
When we uh I can't get over that, man. That boy, hey, you missed it, Big J. This dude D Free said Evander Holyfield is completely done.
Yeah, you still tweaking off of that.
For a while, I've been listening to somebody
That
say
nigga,
BBO.
that nigga BBO stupid.
BBO
Hey,
stupid.
I don't know
He's
about
still
you.
tweaking off of it.
I love Evander Holyfield, man. I felt bad when he went down. Like, he
I didn't. I was like, he looks stupid. What are you doing?
went
You're
down like a
100,000
ton of
years old.
bricks. He went down
Listen,
like a ton of bricks, man. I couldn't believe he went down that hard. I was like, dang, they ain't playing around with the old man.
Man, that dude went in there and punished him, man. That man went out drinking that night and had a nice party.
That nigga thought Belfort couldn't punch. Belfort was like, "You must ain't pay attention to my resume."
Hmm. And it ain't gonna take much to crack Holyfield because his armor got all kind of kinks in it.
listen. Holyfield used to be the man.
Yeah,
He
for sure.
he had the defense. He had the that cross guard, and um, he had a chin. That was like punching on the damn wall. George Foreman proved that. George Foreman was hitting Holyfield with everything. He just standing there, bam. I think that's probably what's wrong with Holyfield now, because George hit a motherfucker, and knock you clean the fuck out. you know,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, Big
I think
George.
that might have been the first time I've ever seen Holyfield get knocked out cold.
Yeah, What's
You
McCall
the
it? Put
man,
some beat him up too. Michael Moore beat him up pretty good.
no,
you know what I fight? I
Michael
heard
Moore
that
was cumulative. That was a lot of punches, just a whole lot of
Hmm.
punches. And
He
and
just beat
and
him up.
and you know, hell, Michael Moore put a beating on George ass, but George said, I'm okay. I'm tired of this, and just
The
bam.
Teddy Atlas was mad as hell at Michael Moore for that fight. He was like, "What are
Teddy
you
was going
doing?"
off for like he was going off for like 3 or 4 rounds, telling him, "Stay away. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
You
you
know what
win in the
got me,
fight.
man?
You win in the fight. Don't engage. You win in the fight. Don't engage. Yeah, yeah. Michael Moore kept
Did
doing
you
it.
guys see that they ordered Bacoli? Oh, it's not somebody pouring water. Mute yourself if you pouring water.
You
Um,
talking about against Big Bang Zane?
yeah, that fight is official.
Yeah, I
That's a
I I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I got
I'm definitely
Bacoli,
gonna.
man. I
I'm
got
going Bacoli.
Bacoli.
Oh yeah, I
I,
think I think I think Bacoli very well might win that fight because Big Bang Zane can take a lot of punishment. He
Mm-hmm.
can take a punch, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the age is going to catch up to Big Bang Zane.
he like
That man, that
42.
yeah, he's 41, 42 years old.
He
That,
old,
that
man.
yeah, that age is going to catch up to him. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I think he might. I don't think he's going to get knocked out. He very well could get stopped.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get knocked out. But even if he doesn't get stopped or knocked out, I think he still probably lose that fight. I think he's going to take too many punches because Big Zane don't have the greatest of defense, and he gasses out at the end of his fights. Towards the later rounds, he starts to gas out, and I think that's what Bacoli is going to be waiting on because I think Bacoli watched enough fights of Big Bang Zane because he's a lot of people's sparring partners, so he watches these fighters, and I think he realized that Big Bang Zane gasses out in the later rounds of the fight, and I think that's what he's going to be waiting on for him to gas out, and then he's gonna be swinging those big George Foreman hooks.
Hey, that boy Bacoli son, man. That brother came in so fat. That brother put a t-shirt on his belly. He came in huge versus my man, uh, Anderson. Let me ask you guys this. Speaking of big baby Jared Anderson, do you guys think he can come back after being viciously beaten like that?
Yeah, I think he can come back. He was he was beat. He took some brutal shots from Bacoli, but at the end of the fight, he didn't like had to get picked up. He walked to his corner. He just had a bad night, and he wasn't ready for that fight. Bacoli seasoned, and Big Baby Anderson, he was being clown like a clown on the at the press conference, and Bacoli was like serious the whole time, but. I want to see them rematch so I can see Bacoli smash him again.
Oh, you a hater, bro.
I'm just not a fan of Jared Big Baby Anderson. He's a big baby. I mean, his name speaks for itself. He's on there with crying and emotional support animals. This big man running around there like that, and then he flips the gangster when that Shakur and Tank and all that stuff was going down. He talking about some pull up or something, bro. Nobody's scared of you, dog. You got an emotional support, dog. You cried to Roy Jones, bro. Nobody is afraid of you, dog. And Martin McCauley, I was so glad to see Martin McCauley beat him like that. And I just, I
You a
just
hater,
don't like
man.
that nigga. I don't like that nigga, man.
You know
Um,
what got
I,
you know what get go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I think he could come back. Will he be able to come back? We will only find out when he get in the ring again. But it's not like he got knocked out cold or anything like that. He
Right.
got
Yeah,
sat
he was
down a couple.
cool.
Yeah, he got set down a couple of times, and that's a learning experience because he was a fairly young guy. What, he 24 years old. He never really faced any adversity outside of that one big shot that um Charles caught him with. But other than that, he
Yeah.
never really faced any adversity. So it was a learning curve for him. So I think he'll be able to come back. Will he? Is another thing.
I think he loses all big fights. I think that if you put him in there with Big Bang Zane, I think if you put him in there with Usyk or of course them guys, but I mean,
Right now, yeah, he probably will lose those, but in time, I don't think he lose all those big
yeah,
fights.
one of those guys is aged out. Yeah,
No,
yeah, he can
I ain't talking about the age. I'm talking about with the experience. Like I said, he never really had to face any adversity. A lot of those guys they put him in there with showcase fights. The only one that gave him some type of adversity was Charles Martin. He hit him with a big shot and he weathered the storm and he completed the
barely
daggone
made it
task.
out.
He completed the task, but he never really faced any adversity. So it's not even the fact of the age. I mean, because daggone Daniel Dubois is not old, so he could still face him. Um, AJ ain't really old. I mean,
Mm-mm.
he's getting up there as far as many fights he had, but he's not
Ring
really old.
miles.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not really old, so he can still face those type of fighters. But I think the experience level, he's not on the experience level. I think if he gets some more experience under his belt, he'll be able to face those guys, and he might lose to some of them, and he might win against some of them. But I ain't gonna say he's gonna lose all of them.
he ain't gonna lose all his fights. I just think he loses all the big fights when it's time to step up the comp. I mean, he's light years away from I think it's more. It's not because of his skill, because he's very skilled. I think it's more of a mental thing with him. Like, I don't know if I want this. I didn't ask for this. Please, Roy. I didn't ask for none of this. When I saw that, I just was like, yeah, I'm out on him.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a immature moment.
Immature. That was straight girl boy stuff, man. Like, get out of here, man, dude. I'm signing off, man. I'm getting out of here. I gotta get up early in the morning.
Yeah, we about to get up out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Y'all smash the like
Yeah,
button on your way out. We'll be back tomorrow. It's your boy BBO D Free Prize
yeah.
BBO Boxing, and we out.
Peace.
Peace. JBT is giving away a bag for the holidays. That's right, a bag for the holidays. We're holding a 50-50 raffle, and one lucky winner is going to win half of all the money collected. Entries are $5 each or 5 for 20. This raffle runs from now until December the 21st, and the winner will be announced on December 21st, immediately following the Alexander Usyk Tyson Fury heavyweight bout. So, cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. So enter early, enter often, and remember, one lucky winner will be awarded half of all the money collected. Another great contest brought to you by the JBT